Hi, my name is Christily and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my library. Well, my library in a van. For every one book I finish, I add 5 more to my TBR. There's just so many good books to read. Hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Christily and on this channel we do 3 videos per week. We do a Moody Monday video where you'll never know what you're gonna get, but you always get a video from me on Monday. We do what we reading Wednesdays, which is today, and we talk about books we read, we want to read, books we got to read in the future, books we read in the past, all that good stuff. Every bookish thing you can think about, we're trying to do over here. On Fridays we have Van Life Fridays where I make videos and vlog about my alternative lifestyle in a van, which is Ben here. Hello, this is my 1991 Chevrolet G20 van named Ben. Say hi. If any of that sounds super intrigued or you just want to just stay for this video and see if it can make you want to join the community, subscribe or watch and subscribe, or maybe you're already gone. Either way, I may just pop up on your screen whenever the universe thinks you need to hear or see me, and that is okay with me. In today's video, I'll be talking to you about all the books that I've added to my library that I shouldn't have added because I live in a van and don't have much space, but here we are. This is a new book. This is a new book. This is a new book. This is old. This is new. This is also new. That's not new. That's not new. Okay. And then on the other side, no, we're good. So here are all the books that I've added to my tiny personal library in my van. Let's go through them because some of them I'm really excited to read. One I've already read and I just want to talk to you about them. The first book that I have on my TBR is this Oscar Wilde, well, 2 plays by Oscar Wilde. The first one is An Ideal Husband and A Woman of No Importance. I got this from the thrift store when me and my friends went to Beacon, New York. I have a vlog about it if you care. But I always liked Oscar Wilde's quotes that I see around the world because he is a well-known person and creator. Well, creator meaning creative person in the world, not creator like we talk about today, being a content creator. He was just a creative artist, like artist. Yeah, let's go with artist. I loved everything that I ever hear from him. And one time I went to Ireland and I got to be by his statue. So with all that being said, I saw this book because I've never actually read a whole piece from him. I keep saying that. Every time I talk about this. That's a lie. I've read The Importance of Being Earnest. I don't remember reading anything else from him. So this will be like the second piece of work that I have to read from him or that I want to read from him. Oscar Wilde's comedies An Ideal Husband, 1895, and A Woman of No Importance, 1893 are preludes to his 1895 masterpiece, The Importance of Being Earnest. Humorous but dark in tone, the 2 plays are filled with wit that wounds, vicious irony, and dialogue that skews the vapid beliefs of fashionable society. After Wilde's downfall and imprisonment, I did not know he was imprisoned. Good for him. He wrote A Criminal. He wrote An Ideal Husband. Some of its passages seem prophetic of tragedies to come. In fact, both plays, which are closely related in theme, revolve around terrible secrets whose exposure would cause a dreadful scandal and the loss of a character's public standing and personal happiness. This new Signet Classic edition of An Ideal Husband and A Woman of No Importance contains 2 interviews with the playwright at the peak of his career in which Wilde discusses his craft and his critics, and as well as introduction by Gary Smidgall, a leading Wilde scholar and biographer. Everything I just said right there. The next book that I have, I got when I was in LA, California, when I was in Los Angeles, and I did a book crawl. That is up already on this channel. If you want to go watch, I'll link it here. One of the bookstores that I went to is called Bel Canto Books, where I got 2 really exciting books for me to read, but also I really like talking to one of the workers at the store, and the entire feel of the store is really, really nice. One of my favorite bookstores, literally the only favorite bookstore. I went to 4 of them, and Bel Canto Books was like my favorite one so far. This one is called Black Candle Women, and as I stare at it, when I saw it in the store, I didn't remember it at all. But now that I keep looking at it, I'm like, I think I saw this before but never picked it up, or maybe it was on my TBR, but it wasn't. I think I saw it but never added it. But Black Candle Women, it's by Diane Marie Brown, and she signed it. Like, it was a signed copy because she is friends with the bookstore owner, and so she came in and like signed a lot of her copies. And I was so excited to get it. I was like, it's a no-brainer. And in addition to that, the store Belcanto Books had a stamp where you can stamp the book so it shows where you got it. So if you need to remember it from later, it was really nice. Generations of Montrose women, Augusta, Victoria, Willow, have always lived together in their quaint California bungalow. They keep to themselves, never venture far from home, and their collection of tinctures and spells is an unspoken bond between them. But when young Nikki Montrose brings home a boy for the first time, their quiet lives are thrown into disarray. For the family has withheld a crucial secret from Nikki all these years. Any person a Montrose woman falls in love with will die. Their surprise guest forces each woman to reckon with her own past choices and mistakes. And as new truths about the curse emerge, they're set on a collision course dating back to 1950s New Orleans French Quarter, where a hidden story in a mysterious book may just hold the answers they seek in life and in love. Also says on the front, if you like practical magic, you will love Black Candle Women, an incredible novel about love, about mothers and daughters, and will bring you so much joy. Practical Magic is one of my favorite movies. I've never read the book because as I started my reading journey last year, I have realized how many movies were books first. And I was gonna go read the Practical Magic book, but everyone in the comments and the reviews everyone in the reviews were just like, it's horrible, the movie's better. And I allowed that to like not let me read the book till this day. And I don't want to ruin anything that the movie has already given me. I don't want any detail. It is choice ignorance, and I understand that. But the fact that story is about a white family, but this is about Black women, and I like that. I like it because when it comes to magic, Black and people of color have an intense connection to their ancestors when it comes to spiritual and magical things. And I'm really excited to see what Diane Marie Brown brings to that knowing. And I like that it's going to be in the form of one of my favorite tropes, which is witchy women falling in love with men and the men having to die because of a curse. It's currently my favorite trope. The third kind of piece of art that I'm consuming with this trope, the first one is Practical Magic. The next one was Crystal Cove, which is a book. And the other one is going to be this. And this is going to be the third one. And I'm really excited to add this to that trope that I love. I cannot wait to read this. I got a second book there. It's called Something Cheeky by Thien Kim Lam, a steamy new rom-com from the popular author Happy Endings and Full Exposure, which are two books I'm going to read, whether I like this or not, because I like the way I like the titles. I judge a book by its title and its cover, so sue me. A steamy new rom-com from the popular author of Happy Endings and Full Exposure, where two friends get the opportunity to work together on their dream project, a Cinderella rock musical with an all-Asian cast, and discover that falling in love is the easy part. Zoe Tran is living her best life designing plus-size lingerie at her own award-winning clothing boutique, when suddenly her college best friend re-enters her life. Derek Bui is offering a tantalizing chance to recapture a forgotten dream, designing costumes for the musical they created together years ago. Derek has loved Zoe since freshman year, but never had the guts to confess his true feelings. Now he's directing a Vietnamese Cinderella rock musical that they dreamed of in college. The stakes are high. It's the first production with an all-Asian cast and creative team at Washington D.C.'s largest theater, and if they can make it work, they'll head to Broadway. But his real goal? Get Zoe back in his life. Will Zoe and Derek finally let love take center stage, or will their creative differences close the curtains on them forever? That gave me goosebumps finishing that. The other two books, Full Exposure and Happy Endings, are interracial couples, which is pretty fun. What sold me on this book is that Zoe is a demisexual. That is something that I've always claimed to be once I've heard the definition of it. And I want to read what it's like. I want to read a character like that to see kind of what detail the writer brings into that aspect of the person's sexuality. And I'm excited for that. So that is what really drew me to this. It's the first time seeing that as a descriptor for someone's life, and I'm just really excited to read it in a book, in a rom-com. When it comes to second chance romances, which this is not kind of it's a second chance romance for Derek. Zoe can kind of care less, you know what I'm saying? But I don't always like second chance romances because what happened in the first time? I guess as long as the first time wasn't diabolical, it can work out. But some second chance romances should have never happened or should never happen. And I believe that in life and in literature. My stickers flew out. Oh no. The next book that I have is You Can Go Your Own Way. I got this book from the dollar store. From the dollar store. One, because I like the title, You Can Go Your Own Way. It reminds me of the song from Fleetwood Mac. I first heard that song on Glee. Glee opened me up to a lot of different music. And although it can never, ever, ever be released at this time in life, I'm happy that it was released because it was something that someone needed, and it was me. I discovered so much music, and I discovered just so much good art from it. Loved it down. So I got this book because of that title, and it was at the dollar store, and I know it's gonna be a cute little rommy-commy. Also, it's from a guy named Eric. Oh, it's from a man, a boy. Anyway, the author's name is Eric Smith, and he has another book called Don't Read the Comments, which I'm going to have to read that now. But a quote on the back of the book from our Lord and Savior Emily, a quote on the back of the book from Emily Henry says, "The perfect novel to snuggle up with." Simple. I know it's gonna be simple. It was at the dollar store by chance. But anyway, Adam Stillwater is in over his head, but the old city pinball arcade is the only piece of his dad that Adam has left. And he's determined to protect it from Philadelphia's newest tech mogul who wants to turn it into a cold, lifeless gaming cafe. It also takes place in Philly, which is really nice. I love it when books take place in places that I've been or lived for a little bit. I lived in Philly for a year. I lived in Pennsylvania, then Salem, Pennsylvania for about 3. So like I know the area, and it's really cool to read things that you know in a book. So Whitney Mitchell doesn't know how she got here. Her parents split up and she lost all her friends. Her boyfriend dumped her, and now she's running social media for her dad's chain of super successful gaming cafes, which most likely consist of trading insults with the decrepit old pinball arcade across town. But when a huge snowstorm hits, Adam and Whitney suddenly find themselves trapped inside the arcade. They're cut off from their worlds, and they're cut off from their worlds, and the tension between them seems to melt away, leaving something else in its place. But what happens when the storm ends? They figure it out. They become a powerhouse couple with a business, is what I'm assuming this happens. The next book is Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. I also got this while I was in Beacon, New York with the Oscar Wilde book. We went to a bookshop. I forget the name now, but it's also in the same blog that I got the Oscar Wilde book in. Oh, literally, wait. Bookmark. Binacle Books. Cloud Atlas is one of those movies that I've loved for years. I mean, years, 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 years. And I realized it was a book because when I went to Ireland, along with the same story of Oscar Wilde, I was in a hostel, and the hostel had a bookshelves, and on the bookshelf I saw Cloud Atlas. Cloud Atlas is a story of intertwining lives over decades and decades, and how the actions that we take in one lifetime impacts us and others in other lifetimes, past and future. I always loved that, and the fact that I went to Ireland, my first international trip ever, and I saw this very impactful story that I didn't even know it was a book. I loved it. That movie is going to be my number one movie until the day I die. I hope the love of my life likes the movie because it's going to be a rewatch, and I want them beside me. It is a long ass movie though. It's over 2 hours long, but it's so incredible. And so I wanted to find the book because I wanted a copy of the book for myself, not from the library, not on loan. I wanted it for myself to notate for sure, but also to have, because I want this story in all forms that I can get it in. It's a beautiful story. Moving on because I'm running out of time. The next one I have on my bookshelf is How You Grow Wings by Rima Onaceta. This was a birthday gift from my friend Ariana. She also bought the same one for herself, so we're going to read it together at some point when I get to it. But I looked at this book oh no, oh my god, my Lorcana cards. Oh my ass. 2 sisters, 2 very different paths. Can one save the other from her own disastrous choices? Sister Chetta and Zam couldn't be more different. Chetta's sharp tongue and stubborn, never shies from conflict. either at school or at home, where her mother fires abuse at her. Timid Zam escapes most of her mother's anger, skating under the radar and avoiding her sister whenever possible. In a lucky turn, Zam is invited to live in her aunt's luxurious home. Jealous Cheta also leaves home, but to a hard existence that will drive her to two terrible decisions. When the sisters are reunited, Zam alone sees just how far Cheta has fallen, and Cheta's fate is in Zam's hands. Debut author Rima Onaceta daftly explores classism, colorism, cycles of abuse and violence, how loyalty doesn't always come attached to love, and the messy truth that sometimes family is not a source of comfort and that morality is all shades of gray. I saw this book in Barnes & Noble. I read it. I thought it would hit too close to home, and so I didn't get it. But the universe had other plans because it still ended up in my life. And so this is something that I know I will relate to, and I will probably be devastated at the end of it. So I'm going to need ample time to get through it and get over it. But I can't wait to read it, and I'm so happy that I was gifted it by someone that I care about. So when things are for you, they find a way to you, and this book found its way to me, and we're going to read it at some point. The second to last book I have is Party of One, a memoir in 21 songs by Dave Holmes. This was given to me by my friend Lexi, kind of just as like, hey, do you want this? So I added it to my bookshelf. But also I liked the summary of it. From former MTV VJ Dave Holmes, the hilarious memoir of, it's a memoir. This is the second memoir I have. I don't know what's with me getting memoirs. Dave Holmes has spent his life in the periphery, nose pressed, hopefully against the glass, wanting just one thing, to get inside. Growing up, he was the artsy son in the sporty family. At his all-boys high school and Catholic college, he was a closeted gay kid surrounded by crush-worthy straight guys. And in his 20s, in the middle of a disastrous career in advertising, he accidentally becomes an MTV VJ overnight when he finished second, naturally, in the Wanna Be a VJ contest, opening the door to fame, fortune, and celebrity. This book is for anyone who's ever felt like a square peg, especially those who have found their place in the world around a band, an album, or a song. It's a laugh out loud, funny, deeply nostalgic story about never fitting in, never giving up, and letting good music guide the way. I'll read it at some point, but since it's a memoir, I don't think it'll be my focus of anything, but one day I will read it. Last on my bookshelf is Lights Out by Navisa Allen. I did a video about this as well, like a read with me, because I got it while I was in LA. Me and 3 other friends, we went to LA, me for exploring and them for Warped Tour. But on the first night there, our second night, the other girls' first nights, we went to Target and we got some food for our Airbnb, and then we also went to the book section and we saw this book. We read the trigger warnings, we read the summary, and we're like, okay, let's all get it and read it. And so we did, and it was really good. I'm not gonna say too much about the book, but I enjoyed reading it. It's dark romance, and honestly, I thought it would be too much, and it was in certain parts, but not to the point where I won't ever read dark romance. The dark part of the romance is the background of our 2 characters and how their background, their past lives have fed into who they are now and how they meet. That's the dark part. And some dark stuff happens, but it's mostly smut and mind-blowing random ass plot twists. And I really enjoyed it. And so I would definitely recommend this book if you wanted to read it. I'm going to read the back just so you know the back. And if you want to read it, you can read it. But I've added this to my shelf. So here we go. A dark romance like you've never seen before. Can you handle the ride? Yes. I want someone with a soul as black as night. Someone who would burn the world down for me and not lose a single minute of sleep. That's where I, sign my name on a dotted line, because same. Trauma nurse Ali Capalucci doesn't need any more kinks. She likes the one she's landed on just fine. To her, nothing could top the masked man she follows online. She fantasizes about one man in particular hunting her down, but she never would have guessed that one drunken text could make those dreams into a reality. I want things most people don't, craving darkness and depravity instead of light and love. Josh Hammond has spent his life avoiding the limelight, but his online persona is another story. At night, he posts masked thirst traps for his millions of fans, but one follower has caught his eye. Allie. Together, Allie and Josh live out their darkest fantasies, unaware that Allie has captured the attention of someone with far more sinister intentions. As Josh turns from predator to protector, he must ask himself how far he will go for the woman he's obsessed with. That's all a girl asks for. But those are all the books that I've added to my very, very limited personal library shelves in my van. I hope you like them. If there are any books that caught your eye or caught your ear and you want to read, please comment down below. I don't know why I'm still holding this. It's heavy. If you enjoyed this video, I love you. I am grateful for you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.